Hello and welcome, I'm Mark Duclos, and the countdown to the world's richest greyhound staying race is on in earnest this Saturday night at the Gardens in Newcastle. A massive $500,000 is up for grabs with the second running of the Ladbrokes 7:15. Joining me tonight to preview the big race is Timmy Newbold. And Tim, a top-class field has been assembled. The betting market suggests this is going to be a really open affair.
Yeah, good evening, Mark. Wide open, intriguing affair. Will the $500,000 go back to Victoria with young gun trainer Tim Britton? Can Jack or Marie Smith win their second 7:15? Or will the young gun, Zipping Orlando, win his second big feature in just under a month? An intriguing race, Mark.
It sure is. Let's take a look at the latest betting market, courtesy of ladbrokes.com.au. And as soon as the box draw was conducted last Friday night, PALAWA King, after coming up with box one, he was installed as the favourite around the 320 quote. But just to exemplify the openness of this race, Tim, 6 of the 8 runners, $10 and less.
Yeah, $3.20 PALAWA King. No shock to see him go up favourite after running the quickest time and drawing the coveted Rails Alley. Zipping Orlando currently $3.60. I wouldn't be surprised if he does trim up when we get closer to the race. I think there's a couple of roughies with a good little sneaky chances in Zipping Whiskey and playing nice at double figures. It will be an interesting market, and I'd like to see which way the punters will land come closer to the race, Mark, but I think Zipping Orlando could start favourite.
Well, what's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website. Well, as we mentioned, PALAWA King is the favourite. He had box 4 last week in the heats, and Timmy, look, I guess the best way to put it is the heavens opened up for him. He fell out of the boxes. It was his first go over the 700 since early December. He got that dream run through at the first turn.
Yeah, it was like the Sydney heads. They opened up through the first corner, Mark, and away he went. He's got a massive engine, and he really let go mid-race to go up and tackle the leader down the home running on the first occasion and then assume control. And then he just blew his opposition away at this point of the race, 41.59 overall, a blinding run.
Yeah. The question is going to be asked, is he going to get the same run in the final as what he got in the heat?
I don't think he will, because he's got Zipping Orlando drawn on his outside, who will want to cross to the rails in the early stages. PUNTER'S Bandit is a noted front runner. She'll be charging across. NANGAR Rocket, brilliant beginner, high speed. It'll be coming across as well. I don't see him getting that run at the first turn. He'll be back maybe 4th or 5th of the first turn. He's going to rely on a lot of luck. And Mark, will he be a little bit flat second up this preparation of the 700 metres after running that lightning quick time?
Yep, well, Jack and Marie Smith took out the inaugural 7:15 last year, albeit in dramatic circumstances with Miss Esme. The big question is, will the greyhound gods be shining on them again in 2023? The likes of Feral Frankie and Jungle Juice, the 2021 New South Wales Greyhound of the Year, has seen husband and wife training duo of Jack and Marie Smith constantly in the headlines. 12 months ago, they claimed the inaugural running of the 7:15 with Miss Esme, but it was not without its drama. And the story of how Miss Esme and Marie Smith arrived on course has now been written into greyhound racing folklore.
Well, I was travelling through a little place called Sandy Hollow, which there's only a pub and a service station. My car broke down, relatively new car. Sort of panicked, had a little cry, and then thought, wake up to yourself. Went back to the service station, had a look around, found this nice young man who was heading to the Central Coast, and he agreed to bring me here. And his name was Jesse.
Fast forward to last week's heats, and the Good Samaritan Jesse wasn't required. It was smooth sailing getting to the track for Marie, and then PALAWA King did his bit, producing a spectacular last to first performance to score.
Racing, walking out of the boxes is PALAWA King, and nicely away Silverluck off the inside, now over Cash It In, who'd lost ground and getting right through PALAWA King after that slow start the second. 4 lengths away then the Cash It In, they'll followed then by Zipping Neutron, Ritzer Piper, Priority, and last of all She's Precocious out of the straight, and the leader now taking over PALAWA King. He's used a lot of energy early. He's 2 in front down the back from in second placing Silverluck. A break in the field then the Cash It In. They'll followed by Zipping Neutron, Priority. They're a mile back at the moment in company with Ritzer Piper, but on the corner this has been a big win. PALAWA King's well clear in the straight from Silverluck, and PALAWA King easily.
Oh, I am so excited. Nearly as excited I was last year. No, I'm very excited for the owners, Wendy and John Hughes. They're great people, been through the floods, yeah, they deserve this.
But it could well be a case of deja vu in this week's final. Miss Esme and PALAWA King both had box 4 in their heats. Miss Esme won the final from the rails draw. The same box PALAWA King will step from on Saturday night.
I just did a few yahoos when I did pick the box 1, but seriously, he's not going to come out far, so it's not really going to matter, but at least he's on the rail. So, yeah, pretty excited.
Well, Timmy, you can just hear the music from the Twilight Zone playing. Miss Esme, box 4 in the heat, box 1 in the final, PALAWA King, box 4, box 1. You mentioned before about him being flat after that big first up run. Is that your greatest concern?
It is. That's a $500,000 question, Mark. I think there's a big chance he's going to be a little flat. He has got his alley, but it isn't going to be run to suit like it was in the heat last week.
All right, trainers John and Minnie Finn are no strangers to having big runners in big race finals. And this Saturday night, they will be represented by Zipping Orlando, who starts from box 2. This will be just his 6th start over the trip. 2 runs back, Timmy, he claimed the Group 1 Association Cup at Wentworth Park in a flying 41.53.
Baby of the field and the only Group 1 winner in the race, Mark. He wasn't all that well away in his heat, but he worked over into 3rd or 4th position in the early stages, and then he let go mid-race and he knuckled down when it mattered in the latter stages, Mark. He ran 41.83. I've got no doubt he can go much quicker with a better getaway.
He was the winner of the Zoom Top Maiden final at Goulburn last year. That has since proven to be a sensational form race. The likes of Len Me Dad came out of it. He won his first 8 races straight. Including the Young Star final. There's always been a big boom. I mean, I guess that progression from 5.20 to 7.20 or 7.15, there's always those question marks no matter what their racing style looks to be.
He always did give the indication he would be suited getting up over the half mile, and he has really taken to it over the last, 4 or 5 weeks. In the first 20 or 30 metres, he's normally vying for the lead. I think he will from box number 2, particularly with PALAWA King drawn directly underneath him. I think he's a great chance of going straight to the lead, and if he does lead, Mark, he'll be awfully hard to run down.
Well, there was a big contingent of Victorian chasers making their way up the Hume Highway last week. Predominantly from the Tim Britton kennel. They've been rewarded with 3 runners in the final, and the first of them is On the Off. He was an $18 chance when scoring in 42.03 from box 1 in his heat. Timmy, the Britton kennel, they put in the hard yards. They came up to the Gardens to trial pre-heats, and it paid off in spades for them.
Sure did. He made the Group 1 Hume Cup at the Meadows late last year, and as you can see, he went straight to the top, and he just kept on rolling along, Mark. He's a one batter, and he kept on kicking, and they just couldn't get near, well, they couldn't reel him in over the latter stages. 42.03 the overall time. He does need to find a few lengths on that time.
Look, he's from that repeat mating again and again and again. A Fernando Bale out of that sensational brood bitch, Tears I Am, produced the likes of Tornado Tears amongst plenty of others. 14-time career winner. Realistically, he's yet to run any time in any of his 3 victories over the longer distance.
Yeah, and the big issue in this race, Mark, he's got high speed drawn on his immediate outside in PUNTER'S, BANDIT. He's got Zipping Orlando drawn underneath him, so he will need to begin brilliantly to get across to the lead. If he doesn't lead, can't win the race.
Okay, 3 down, 5 to go. A little later in the program, we're going to be chatting with trainer Tim Britton about his hopes of claiming the big ones. Another one of his winners last week was Play Nice, defeating Zipping Whiskey and also Corborn Magic. We'll be back to chat with Tim and talk lots more about the Ladbrokes 715 right after this.
On the corner, they still haven't got Play Nice. Corborn Magic and Zipping Whiskey hard after. Zipping Whiskey at the come up, the leader's back. Play Nice in front and got in. Play Nice has beaten Zipping Whiskey and Corborn Magic.
Welcome back to our preview of the Ladbrokes 715 to be run at the Gardens this Saturday night. $500,000 goes to the eventual winner. We're down to greyhound number 4, and that is PUNTER'S Bandit for the all-conquering Andy and Jodie Lord kennel. She was a terrific second in her heat last Friday night behind Zipping Orlando. Timmy, she had to use up a lot of gas to find the front with a lap to go.
Yeah, high-speed front-running stayer, Mark, you're right. She worked overtime in the early stages to get to the lead, and then she took dolly-like steps in the latter stages, reeled in by Zipping Orlando. But she is One of the main chances, because, Mark, she will be vying with the front, and if she does lead, she could pinch it. She just needs to find a little in the run home.
She took out the Gosford Gold Cup, the Group 2 Gosford Gold Cup. That was over the sprint journey in January. She then stepped up and won the 600 at the same circuit. She's still a baby over the staying trip. She's only had 3 starts over the distance. One of those, a sizzling 41.45 victory here, 3 runs back, Timmy, and that makes her the fastest PB in the race.
And just outside the track record as well, Mark. She'll be 4th up at the trip, ready to peak. She is a major player in the race.
Well, the squeeze box will be occupied by NANGAR Rocket for leading trainer Dennis Barnes, and this greyhound has always shown plenty of ability. Still new to the staying caper, 11 wins from 30 career starts. He's yet to win in 3 goes at the long distance, but I tell you what, Timmy, his early pace could be a real fly in the ointment for a couple of the favourite runners, particularly Zipping Orlando and Punter's Bandit.
Yeah, a greyhound who will make his own luck. He'll be charging over, looking for the early lead. He will be relying on a little bit of scrimmaging behind him in the early and mid part to get home because he's not all that strong in the latter half of the race. His run home time was 13.23, the slowest of all finalists, so he will need a bit of luck to get home.
He's always shown a stack of ability. His first ever victory came in the time-honoured Grafton Maiden Classic back in July last year. So he's gone from the 400 to the 700 metres, basically in less than 12 months.
Yeah, a very versatile greyhound. He's in the care of Dennis and Ann Barnes. They know how to prepare a greyhound. There's no doubt he'll be cherry ripe going into Saturday night's race.
Well, owners and breeders Marty and Fiona Hallinan have 2 runners in the Ladbrokes 7.15 on Saturday night. The second of their runners is Zipping Whiskey, prepared by Mick Hardman, finished second behind Play Nice in his heat, beaten less than a length when flashing home, although he did race a lot closer to the lead than what we have become accustomed to Zipping Whiskey doing. Timmy, Mick did a lot of work with these dogs, going back 5 and 6 months, taking them up to the Gardens. I think he's had 5 goes there now. Yeah,
he has been. He was really good a couple of runs ago, Mark, when he ran 41.50, winning at the Gardens. As you did say, he did settle a lot closer than what he normally does. He's normally a back marker, but he's got a booming finish. If he gets the right runs mid-race, he can steam right over the top and take this out at double figures.
Okay, where do you see him being at that run into the first turn, just out of those 7.15 boxes? Because it's crucial for him to be out of traffic.
There is a stack of early pace in this race. He'll be in the second half of the field, but this might be run to suit. The leaders might soften each other up, and it'll play into his hands, just smoking his pipe back in the field. He's the equal. He had the equal strongest finishing time of all of the heats. If there's any little jamming in front, he can get the money.
And NANGAR Rocket can give him a clear run in that first 40 or 50 metres.
Yeah, he'll be running across in the early stages. So I think this race will be run to suit.
All right, well, we have just 2 runners left to preview in the Ladbrokes 7.15 to be staged at the Gardens this Saturday night. They both come from the Tim Britton kennel, and I speak of Play Nice and also Wheel and Go. And Tim and his partner Martina have joined us here on our special preview show. Guys, thanks very much for joining us tonight. Timmy, I want to ask you, the decision to make the trip up to the Gardens pre-heats to trial, it's proved to be a masterstroke.
Yeah, look, we didn't want to send them up without a trial. It's just working all that out was a bit difficult. You know, it's about a 13-hour trip without stops, and but we managed to work it out with 8 dogs, send them up, and we managed to get 3 heat winners.
Well, you've got all 3 dogs that'll be engaged in the final there with you, along with Martina. Timmy, I want to ask you about Wheel and Go. He's made a really nice progression up to the 700 metres, and when we talk about breeding, a couple of these dogs are out of tears. I am breeding for yourself as well. Your dad, Rob, is a master trainer of stayers. Your uncle, Jeff Britton, your auntie, Linda Britton as well. Has Dad given you any advice in the lead up to the final about Wheel and Go?
Dad said it's all up to you, basically. You'll work it out. No, he's boxed in box 7. He's next to Play Nice. Not ideal, but either one of them, I'd like to see him jump to the front, and pretty much we'll just keep him up, keep the work up, and hopefully get him up there in fit form and travel well.
And Timmy moves from box 2 in the heat out to box 7. What do you make of the box draw? Can he get across and find the lead from the wide draw?
Look, they're going to have to try and get across, and I think they can do it. It's pretty much, we'll see what happens on the night, but they're all front running dogs at the best of times. So I'm just hoping they'll get, one or all three can jump to the lead, and we'll see where we go.
Well, Wheel and Go has won his last 4 starts all over the 700s. The last of your trio in the big final is, of course, Play Nice. He ran the fastest of your 3 runners last week, going 41.86. He was a $34 chance in the heats. The box draw does him no favours, Timmy. He's yet to win in 5 starts when wearing the pink rug. What do you foresee on Friday night?
Look, as it is, I think Wheel and Go is probably our best and only real chance. Play Nice, look, he can lead a race, and I think in the last, he's come back from a 6-month injury. He done his hock, and he's been looking for that win, but it's been fitness has been holding him back really. I just don't know if he will. He can beat the calibre of dogs, but if he can get to the front and have a bit of luck, then he's going to be up there maybe. It's just getting across, that's another hard part.
And Tim, he trialled at the track prior to the heat. He'll be 3rd up on Saturday night. He ran 41.86 in the heat. Can he improve time-wise?
I think so. Yeah, I think all of them can improve on time. It's just box draw wise, that's the main that's the problem we've got. But I think they can improve on time. Front runner dog, look, he was pretty. I think he was pretty tired. Oh, not tired, but I think the other dogs are coming hard on him at the end of his heat. And yeah, I don't know. He could definitely. Look, he can run the 700, whether he can do a better time. So, yeah, we'll see what happens from box 8.
Well, Timmy, you've got On the Off, Wheel and Go, and also Play Nice. You've got a 3 in 8 chance of taking home the $500,000 on Saturday night. Can you steer the punters into which one you think will give you your best shot of victory?
On form, I'd have to say Wheel and Go. And Wheel and Go, he's going to be the strongest at the end of my 3. I'm not that 100% confident that I can win it, but Wheel and Go can get there. All 3 are front runners, so anything can happen. Hopefully, we're just hopeful, really.
Well, Tim and Martina, thank you very much for joining us on our special Ladbrokes 7:15 show. Best of luck on Saturday night in the final.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Tim Britton and Martina Kirillidis there with his 3 runners, and I mentioned stock as far as the breeding lines are concerned, not just of the greyhounds but of Timmy himself, Uncle Jeff, Dad Rob and Auntie Linda. Fair breeding lines there.
Yeah, greyhound racing royalty, Mark, the Britton family. And yeah, Tim did all of his homework in the early days to come up and trial prior to the series, and look, he's in with a major chance with 3 genuine chances, and I think Play Nice is a better chance than what Tim actually thinks he is, to be honest.
All right, we've taken a look at each of the 8 runners. Let's take a quick look at the reserves. Number 9 is Tree for Lisa Lamb, and 10 is Silver Luck for Andy and Jody Lord. I guess, a lot depends on if they do get a start from what box they will start from, but on their form, how do you see them performing?
Look, I don't think Tree can win the race. I think a steep rising grade, and Silver Luck is a front-running stayer. If he'd happen to get a run, could fill a minor position. Yeah,
and Silver Luck is that sort of a greyhound that he's got that on-pace attribute to his racing pattern. So I guess if he comes up with an inside draw and he's able to get a run and get that clear run into the first turn, he'd be a chance at some sort of odds.
Yeah, I'd be throwing him into all of the wider multiples.
Well, the big question on Saturday night is, will history repeat itself for Jack and Marie Smith? They took out the inaugural running of the Ladbrokes 7:15 in 2022 with their Bonnie stayer, Miss Esme.
Miss Esme still 2. Sound of Silence coming, but Miss Esme wins the inaugural, the 7:15.
Welcome back to our preview of the world's richest greyhound staying race, the Ladbrokes 7:15, to be staged at the Gardens this Saturday night. That was Shannon Knoll, who rocked a big crowd there last year. McAllister Kemp will be providing the on-course entertainment this Saturday night. Well, it's sure to be a life-changing moment for whoever wins the Ladbrokes 7:15. Timmy Newbold, $500,000 up for grabs. I'm sure there's going to be plenty more betting moves in the final lead up to this race. PALAWA King at the moment favourite around that $3.20 quote.
It has been solid all the way through the week, Mark. $3.60 zipping Orlando. I wouldn't be surprised to see those two swap around when we get close to the race. A little wider out to punters, Bandit, NANGAR Rocket. 5 runners, $10 or under. I should say 6 runners, $10 or under. It is an intriguing race, but an open race as well.
It is, and I guess like any race, no matter that it is a 7:15 metre race, early pace is critical.
It sure is, Mark, and I think whatever does lead at the first turn will go pretty close to taking out the 7:15.
What's gambling really costing you? For a free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or you can visit the website. Okay, we have previewed each of the 8 runners in the final. It's now crunch time. Timmy, people are waiting for this. Who are you tipping to win the Ladbrokes 7:15?
I think Zipping Orlando will win his second big feature in just under a month. I think he's beautifully drawn in box number 2. I think he'll lead or park right behind one of the leaders, which could be Punter's Bandit, and if he does, I think he could be a little too strong. Really keen on Zipping Orlando. The knockout greyhound is Zipping Whiskey. He's a back marker. If the leaders do soften each other up, he could steam right over the top. Punter's Bandit, she'll make her own luck up on the speed, and I'm leaving PALAWA King there for 4th, but he's going to need luck through the first turn if he does begin like he did last week.
All right, I have gone with Punter's Bandit from box 4. I think this greyhound can lead this event. Zipping Orlando may show pace in the early stages. I think she sits around in basically what was a replica of last week. She's got the fastest PB of any runner in this final. She's only had 3 goes over the 700. She will only get better. So I've gone 4 Punter's Bandit, PALAWA King, massive danger. If he gets a run through, Zipping Orlando and Wheel and Go. Well, don't forget we're live on racing.com this Saturday night with our showcase coverage of the Ladbrokes 7:15. It kicks off at 5:30 p.m. Plenty of on-course entertainment if you'd like to get trackside. McAllister Kemp playing. Tickets $10 each. Gates open at 4:30 p.m. Timmy Newbold, thanks for joining us. I can't wait for Saturday night.
It's been a pleasure, Mark. I can't wait either. It'll be a cracking night in Newcastle, and Newcastle will be pumping.
I'm Mark Duclos. Thanks for joining us on our Ladbrokes 7:15 preview, the world's richest staying race this Saturday night. $500,000 going to the eventual winner.